Pink is my favorite color, and since it is the month of love, I figured we should try reading pink books for 24 hours. Let's get right into it. I found my first 5-star of the year, 15 hours to go, so hello my friends, welcome to my channel, welcome to this week's reading vlog. This week is a really fun one because we are going to be attempting my second ever 24-hour readathon. Now the first time I did a 24-hour readathon, it did not go as planned. Let's just say I failed. I did not reach my 24 hours in the 24-hour readathon and I was quite disappointed, but I think the biggest issue was I did not plan it out correctly. So this time around, I've decided to switch things up a little bit. We are going to be reading for 24 hours in this video, but it's going to be spread out over an entire week. Yes, now I know a lot of people do this video where they read for 24 hours straight or 24 hours in one weekend, which is absolutely wonderful for them and something maybe in the future I would love to try, probably when it's a bit warmer outside. But considering it's February and very, very chilly, I'm looking to read and write this week, and what is a perfect way to do that but to challenge myself to read for 24 hours this entire week. Now, since like I said, it is February and pink is my favorite color, I thought it would be really fun to put a bit of a theme on this and make all the books I read this week pink. Yep, they are pink. I surprisingly have a lot of pink books, so I want to see how many I can get through in this 24-hour period. Like I said, I'm going to be spreading it out over a week, so that is 7 different days. Now, I did the math, and if I want to make sure I get 24 hours in this next week, I have to read 3 hours and 26 minutes every single day, but we're going to make it nice and pretty and say I have to read a minimum of 3 hours and 30 minutes every single day in order to meet my 24-hour readathon. So, first things first is to grab all my pink books and then pick out our first book. Now, I started this video yesterday when I was quite sick, so I did not talk to you during this clip, but I grabbed all my pink books yesterday and I put them in a nice stack for you, so let me show you that. So yeah, I have a lot of pink books, a lot of pink books. I'm going to very quickly go through them for you. We have We Who Will Die by Stacia Stark, Fake Skating by Lynn Painter, Thorn Season by Kira Azar, Wild Love by Elsie Silver, Most Eligible by Isabel Engel, Chasing the Wild by Elliot Rose, the sides are pink, The Elsewhere Express by Samantha Soto Yumbao, Anatomy of an Alibi by Ashley Elston, all the details are pink, The 4 Engagement Rings of Hannah Brown, and Passion Project by London Sperry. Now, I took all these books and I decided to split them up into 2 piles. The 2 piles were books I really want to get read in this readathon and books that if I get to them or if I'm in the mood, I'll get them. And then from the stack that was these books I really want to read soon, I decided to pick out my first read. So I picked it out yesterday and I started my readathon yesterday. So let me show you how that went. As you guys saw, I was very successful yesterday. That's right, I got day 1 of this readathon done. I got my 3.5 hours read, and I actually read exactly 50% of a book, which is kind of hilarious to me. So I got half of a book done on my first day of this readathon, and I am very proud of myself. I started with a romance book, and it is quite spicy. So yeah, it is a fast and spicy read. It is 7 Year Itch, as you guys saw, by Amy Dawes. I will read you guys the back of it later on when I give you like the review of it after I finish it, because we're hoping to finish it today. Yeah, we're hoping to finish it today. We actually did a little bit of early morning reading today, so let me show you. And yeah, very excitingly with that, I got a good chunk of reading in today, which means I only have an hour and 39 minutes left on my timer for today. Yeah, so I have an hour and 40 minutes left to read, which I'm really proud of, because reading 3.5 hours in a row can be really intimidating. But breaking it up, I feel like it's been really good, because like I got so much done, and I feel like I can still get the rest done this evening. And that means so far in this readathon, I've already read 5 hours and 27 minutes. Yeah, I'm almost 5.5 hours into this readathon already, and I'm really proud of myself. Like, look at me go. I feel like I'm on a really good track to actually be successful this time, so let's hope that that's going to happen. But yeah, I have started my reading today. That is where we're at the readathon. Really funnily, on my Kindle, it tells me the exact amount of time that I have to finish my book is how much time I have to read for the rest of today. How funny is that? It's like I literally picked the perfect book to start off this readathon for the first 2 days. So it sounds like this evening we are going to be restarting that clock. We're going to be starting my Kindle, and it sounds like the perfect amount of time is going to be needed to finish it up. So we will catch up a little bit later and see if I can finish my hour 40 minutes for today, and if I can get my first book done. My first pink book, of course. It is officially day 3 of my 24-hour readathon challenge, and so far everything has been going super well. So yesterday I did push myself to finish up my reading for the night. I wasn't sure I was going to get it done, but I did. I pushed myself to finish up my reading for the night, and I ended up reading for 3 hours and I think it was like 5 minutes. Sorry, 3 hours and 35 minutes, which means I finished up my reading, and that means so far in my readathon I'm at 7 hours and 11 minutes reading this week. So I feel like I'm in a really good place so far. It's been 2 days of reading and I have 7 hours done. So look at me go, look at me go. And even more special, not only did I completely check off amazingly the first 2 days of this readathon, get all my hours in, I also read an entire book. So yeah, I finished 7 Year Itch last night by Amy Dawes, and it ended up being so cute. And yeah, let's talk about it a little bit. So let me read you the back, because I never told you what it was about. So at the top, there's a little like special color thing that it says, "Alone and looking to bone, loudmouth mountain man seeks fiery woman to grow old with. I might look like a tall, tattooed, bearded Neanderthal, but like an onion, I have layers. Swipe right if you like a proud cat daddy who catches feelings after direct eye contact. All I wanted was a casual +1 to my brother's destination wedding. But those idiots on my family tree hacked my dating profile and sabotaged my quest for the perfect weekend fling. Now I'm stuck on a tropical vacation with my with only my hand to keep me company. Until I'm forced to share a room with the bane of my existence, my sister-in-law's best friend. Dakota has hated me for the past 7 years, but I wasn't losing much sleep over her screaming rants because she was some other guy's problem. Or she was, until she got divorced. Being stuck in paradise with a woman who loathes you, who loathes your very existence, doesn't sound hot, but after an unexpected moment in our shared palapa, she starts screaming at me in a different way. What happens in paradise stays in paradise. That is, until Dakota shows up on my mountain with a proposition. Be her wingman to help her regain her pre-divorce confidence. Suddenly, Dakota's not just a person I love to fight with, she's the woman I want everything with. So sweet, so sweet. So this is number 2 in the Mountain Man Matchmaker series. Number 1 was 9-month contract. Really sweet, really cute. I read it last year. This is number 2, and this one was really, really fun. So it's Destination Wedding, and that takes up about maybe like 40-45% of the book, and then the other 55% of the book is the pre-divorce confidence she's looking to regain. And I thought the whole storyline and everything about it was really, really fun. I really enjoyed it, and I liked the Destination Wedding aspect of it. I liked their quest to help her find her confidence. I loved it all. Honestly, the whole storyline I absolutely loved. Loved, loved, loved. It was very, very spicy. Like, very spicy. So keep that in mind. I would say it was probably a 4 out of 5 for spice. It is lots of spice, explicit spice, lots and lots of spice. I like spice. There's no problems here, but I'm just kind of reviewing here as quickly as I can as it's in my head. So yeah, very spicy, but yeah, very fun. My biggest downside with it, my biggest downside is that I hated the main character, the female main character. I wanted to like her, and she had some redeeming qualities, and there were like parts of the story that of course I enjoyed her in, but she was such a bitch. And it was not a bitch in like a fun way. It was like she was literally such a bitch to the guy. And like then he would have to apologize for things, and she like basically never apologized. And I was like, you are doing terrible things to this guy, and you barely apologize for any of it, and you expect him to come and grovel to you. And I just hated it. I hated it. I hated it. I hated it. I'm sorry. I did. I hated it. But other than that, I really liked it. I loved our male main character. He was fun. He was like the sunshine. She was like the grumpy, but she was just too mean for me. Like, if you're gonna be that mean, you have to have like some redeeming qualities that's gonna make up for the fact, and not expect like the man to just deal with the fact that you mean. I mean, he enjoyed that she was mean and screamed at him and all that kind of stuff. So like, if that's what you're into, like, good for you, go for it and all that kind of stuff. I have no judgment here, but I just know that like it was too mean for me. But I did really enjoy the book. I thought it was really fun. I thought it was really cute. There was characters from book 1 in it, and characters that almost fell, but characters that are going to be book 3 were in it as well. So I really, really enjoyed that. Something funny. So with this series, I keep thinking like I'm missing something, and it's because it is a spin-off of another series that, funnily enough, I just started buying, and that series is this series. I don't know what's called this series. Wow, big impact, Kim. Wow. This series, guys, that series is this series, the Wait With Me series. The Wait With Me series, and then number 5 in that series, last on the list, so that's like the last one in that series, is actually what leads to the spin-off that is this series. So technically, this series came first, but this last book leads to the spin-off that is this series. So that's really funny to me, and now I understand why like I'm missing things, because I missed an entire series that came before it. But I'm excited to read this one. Like, obviously I know how it ends, but I'm excited to read this one because like I see this couple together now, and I'm curious to like see their origin story. But yeah, I thought it was funny that I had the book that was the origin story for the series. Let me see if I have any quotes for you guys from this book. My body and my beauty will change over time, but my worth will never change. I absolutely loved that. So she was like a curvier girl, and that was kind of part of like the storyline, was her accepting the fact that she's older now and she has a different body. And I really loved like the watching her like learn to accept her body. That was a really enjoyable part. It's the imperfections, the messiness, the unconventional grit of it all that make it a real full life. So it's not about having a perfect life, it's about having imperfections, about having messiness, about having unconventional grit, and that is what's going to make it a full real life, not some like picturesque life. Nothing's perfect. But yeah, this book was really fun. It was really easy to binge. I absolutely loved Milkshake, the kitty cat, and I think that I am going to rate it 3.75 out of 5 stars. I think that's where we're at. And then, since we finished my first book of this readathon, we need to pick my next pink book, and I'm thinking I want to go for a fantasy that's a little bit different. So that one was very fluffy, very spicy, very romance. So I'm thinking like I have this fantasy, but I feel like it's going to be a little bit of a fluffier fantasy, whereas this fantasy I think it's going to be a bit of a heavier fantasy, or more of a fantasy. So Yeah, I think we're going to start with this one, which is We Who Will Die by Stacia Stark. It says, Bow before the god of ruin. This is number one in a new series, I believe. It says, the epic first installment in a new series set in an ancient Roman world ruled by merciless vampires. We have a beautiful map in here. Life in the perilous Thorn District is a constant battle for Arvel and her younger brothers, and the vampire standing on her doorstep is about to turn their world upside down. Faced with an unthinkable choice, Arvel makes a magically binding vow to do the impossible, kill the Emperor, an ancient vampire created by the god Umbros. But first she must enter the Sundering, an arena where only the fastest, strongest, and deadliest survive long enough to be selected for the Emperor's elite guard. She quickly draws the ear of the Primus, the powerful figure charged with protecting the Emperor, but the vampire under the armor is the last person Arvel expects to encounter in the Emperor's court. With her brother's lives in the balance, Arvel has no choice but to ally with the man who once shattered her heart, and with the Empire's sadistic son, Rorik, two vampires whose motives are impossible to pin down. Rorik holds the key to understanding the powers Arvel is developing, abilities that would put a price on her head if discovered by the Emperor. To survive the arena and complete her mission, Arvel must get to the bottom of a conspiracy that will change everything she thought she knew about herself and the two vampires who are deeply entwined with her destiny. So yeah, that sounds like it's going to be complex. It sounds like it's going to be good. Sounds like it might be a love triangle. Not sure about that. It's set in ancient Rome world, so that sounds really interesting. And yeah, we are going to jump into this one. Should I be starting a new series? Probably not, but I do not care. It is a beautiful pink book. It has these roses on it, so like that's perfect Valentine's Day, February energy. We just have to do it. So we're going to be starting We Who Will Survive. Nope. We Who Will Die for today's readathon hours. Now, speaking of today's readathon hours, it is already 2:30 and I have not read it all today. What you're thinking, 3.5 hours, that's not that bad. But I'm going to my mom's for dinner tonight, so I may not be hitting my 3.5 hours today. I'm going to try to see how many hours I can get in today. But today I'm okay if I do not hit the hours. Any hours that I do not hit today, I'm going to bulk on to Saturday. So the weekend's coming. I'll have more time to read over the weekend because I always have less to do on the weekend, hopefully. So I'm going to try my best to get however many hours in I can today, but anything I don't finish today will be bolted on to Saturday. So we'll still do the hours, but we might have to move them down the week a bit. But we will be starting this book, and I am really, 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 really excited for it. Let's read. Okay, my friends, so yesterday for my readathon was the first time that I kind of failed. So if you can see on that timer, it says I still have 2 hours and 43 minutes left. So I only read 47 minutes yesterday, which I knew I wasn't going to read very much, but I ended up not reading very much, like, at all. Oops. But that is okay. I knew it wasn't going to be a very successful day of reading. I had that already factored in. So we just have to add these 2 hours and 43 minutes over the next 4 days. Luckily, I still have 4 more days to get this 24-hour readathon done. And you guys can see that I am literally just shy of 8 hours. So that means I have 16 hours to go. So 16 hours split over 4 days. That's like 4 hours a day, give or take. So I feel I can do that, especially with the weekend coming up. And especially since I've been sick, I really need to just veg out and not do much this weekend. So hopefully that means lots and lots of reading. I did end up starting We Who Will Die yesterday, and I think I'm gonna like it. I just feel like I need to wrap my mind around the world and the magic system and that kind of stuff, because it jumps right into it, and it like gives you information as you're going, but it like jumps right into it, and you have to like focus in and pick out the parts that are important, because there's a lot of important parts that they're throwing in really quickly. Like I've only read 4 chapters, 28 pages, so like there's a lot of things that they're throwing at you that I feel like you need to focus on. I feel like there were several passages I reread just so that I knew what was happening. But I do think we're going to like the book. I'm excited to really dig into it today. I'm hoping to get like half-ish done, since I have to read 3.5 to 4 hours today. So I'm hoping I'll get like half the book done. So we're going to do that a little bit later. We're going to watch the Olympics opening ceremony, and we're going to get our reading on. Good morning, friends. Good morning, good morning. So, it is Saturday morning, and yesterday I did not read that much. I did not. I read an hour. I read for 1 hour yesterday, and I know I said I was like, oh, I'll get a good chunk in, and like I wanted to, but then the Olympics started, and I wanted to watch the opening ceremony, and I knew if I read, I would not watch any of it. So I chose to watch the opening ceremony because the Olympics only come around once every 2/4 years. 2 for Olympics, 4 for typical Olympics. So yeah, I decided to watch the Olympic opening ceremony instead, which means I have a lot of reading to do. I am currently at the 8 hour and 57 minute mark. So I will read those 3 minutes, but for chatting's sake, we'll say I'm at the 9 hour mark. But yeah, the Olympics are on behind me, by the way, and there's middies. But I am at the 9 hour mark, which means I have 15 hours to go. That's kind of nice and neat and like clean. I kind of like that. 15 hours to go. So your girl's got 15 hours to go to do for the next 3 days. So that's 5 hours a day, or that's, 6 hours today, 6 hours tomorrow. That would get me to 12. That'd be 3 hours on Monday. That's very manageable. So maybe I'll try to do something like that. I'm hoping to read this morning and yeah, get a good chunk in, maybe get an hour or two in this morning, and then I can get a couple hours in like this afternoon and this evening. If I split it up, I feel like I can get a lot more in. But yeah, your girl is at about the 9 hour mark. We got 15 hours to go. We got 3 days left. I started off this challenge so strong, this 24-hour readathon, so strong. I was really like, I was feeling it for myself. And then Thursday, this really screwed me up. And then yesterday, I should have read more. But like I said, Olympics, and then I got tired. But yeah, it is what it is. It is Saturday. It is very cold out. It is 6 degrees out, so it is a perfect day to read and rot and watch the Olympics and read We Who Will Die. We are moving along in the story. The story is moving like decently fast, I feel like. It's hard because I've only read like an hour, like 2 hours of it, so I'm not that far in, but I feel like it's moving decently fast. But also, like, we need to get somewhere with it now. Like, I feel like the story has been set up and I understand what's happening, and I understand like the world, the magic system, and like the politics, and like what our main character is going to have to do for the most part. So now, actually, it is moving. Now that I remember, I was really tired when I was reading last night, but the last part of it, we got to a new section. Oh, yeah. We met more people. Okay, I think it's picking up. So, yeah, I'm excited to really dig into that book today. I think it's going to be a really good one, and I'm really excited because I think I'm going to love it. So, yeah, we're going to read and rot on this very chilly Saturday, watch the Olympics, and just have a good day. Great news, we have been really quite successful so far with the readathon, so I decided that in order to kind of catch up and get back on track today, I needed to read a minimum of 5 hours, so at my timer for 5 hours instead of 3.5 hours, because obviously, right? So I decided that I needed to get some reading done this morning in order to actually reach that goal today. So I sat down this morning and I got some reading done, and look at that. I only have 2 hours and 28 minutes left, which means I got half of my reading done for today already. And yeah, I'm feeling really good about it. I'm feeling really happy about it. Looking at where I'm at 11.5 hours for my readathon. So if I get my other 2.5 hours done today, I will be at 14 hours, which means I have 10 hours left, which I can maybe squeeze into 2 days. Hopefully I'll get more done today so I can like cut it down. But if I have 10 or less, I feel like I'll be less intimidated. So I need to get those 2 hours done today. But yeah, I'm feeling really good about it. I'm still making my way through We Who Will Die, and like so much is happening. It is moving so fast. So many different things are happening. We've met so many different characters. There's so many different storylines, and so much is going on, and I'm really loving it. But it's definitely like so many different things are going on. It's moving really fast and it's really fast paced. I love that. It's really is like a Roman inspired fantasy book. I'm really enjoying it. There's vampires and there's sigil marked, and yeah, it's really enjoyable. We're still in the midst of her competition, and yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. Like, I know where it's going. Like, I know the general plot of the story, but I really don't know where it's going. So I'm just along for the ride. I'm just really excited to see where it goes. I also have it on my Kindle, and it says that I have 5 hours and 54 minutes left in the book. So I'm definitely not going to be finishing the book today, but hopefully we can get that down to like 2 hours or less. It says I'm only on page 162. Like, I feel like I've been reading so much and I'm just not making significant progress. Like, I'm obviously making progress. Like, I'm making good progress, but I am not making significant progress. I am there. Not even halfway yet, so peachy. So we're making significant progress, but not as much progress as I would like. But we have 2.5 more hours to read today, so if I read 50 pages an hour, that means I should be getting another 125 pages. So if I'm on 162, 262. Gosh, I would love to get to page 300 today, honestly. At least page 300. That would make me feel good because there are 420. So if I get to page 300 today, I can spend a couple hours tomorrow, finish it up, and then start a new book, right? And then maybe get like a whole nother book read in this readathon. So yeah, we got a whole nother chunk of hours to be reading tonight. But I'm proud that I got half of it done, and I'm feeling good about where we're going. And Peachy's here. Look, sorry, I'm still healing from being sick, so ignore the voice. Peachy. There's my girl. That's my baby girl. So baby girl's here. We're gonna be reading, and we're just gonna be again watching the Olympics, snuggling up, reading, and hopefully getting a huge chunk of We Who Will Die tackled. I'm really curious and excited to see where it goes. Monday, it is technically the last day of my readathon, so we need to chat a bit. I believe the last time I talked to you was Saturday, and I was saying how I needed to like read a bunch on Saturday and Sunday to get things done. And as you guys saw, I did really, really, really good on Saturday. I read 234 pages on Saturday, so I read a huge chunk. I'm pretty sure. Sorry, I'm dropping things. Okay. I'm pretty sure I forget what I was saying. Let's pull out the stats, shall we? So, Saturday morning, I was at 8 minutes and 8 hours and 57 minutes read. So I was just under 9 hours. Yes, I remember. Okay, I remember this talk with you guys. Okay, so I was just shy of 9 hours. So I was saying how I needed 15 more hours to get it done, and I was hoping to get that good. So I set a timer for 5 hours on Saturday, and as you saw, I completely demolished that timer. I read for 5 hours plus on Saturday, so I was so proud of that. I ended up reading for like, what, 5.5 hours? 6.5 hours on Saturday. So Saturday was very, very successful. I read a huge chunk of We Who Will Die, which is absolutely loving this book. So I read a huge chunk of it, and then Sunday rolled around, and I was like, cool, we're in a great place. We just need to keep on trucking with this readathon, and yeah, Sunday didn't go too hot. So the Olympics were on, and it was Super Bowl Sunday, and instead of reading my readathon, I chilled and I ratted and I watched a bunch of Olympics and I watched the Super Bowl, and yeah, I ended up reading for like 10 minutes. 10 minutes on Sunday, so my whole like I need to get like a good 5 hours done to get myself on track. Did not go so hot on Sunday. I read for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I read like 5 pages because I was very distracted, and yeah, I did not continue reading at all, which means today is the last day, and we really need to kind of tidy up. So far today, I have been reading. I've been reading a lot. So I set a timer for how long I had left, which was 8 hours and 25 minutes. Yes, 8 hours and 25 minutes. And I started reading today, and I am currently at 4 hours and 50 minutes left. Yep, I have 4 hours and 50 minutes left, which means I am at the 19-hour and 10 minutes mark read. So I did really, really good. I think I'm really proud of where I've gotten. I read a bunch this morning, so much so that I ended up finishing We Who Will Die in this book. This book was so good, my friends. It was absolutely amazing. There were so many twists, there were so many turns, so much action, so much happened. There were so many likable characters and so many unlikable characters, and there was romance and a love triangle and yearning, and there's just so much goodness, so much goodness. I absolutely loved it. I ate it up. I ate up every single second of it, and I'm gonna say something that I never say, guys. I'm gonna say something that I almost never say, and this was a 5-star book. This was a 5-star book. Yep. I found my first 5-star of the year, my first 5-star of 2026, and it is We Who Will Die by Stacia Stark, and it's so good. I absolutely loved it. I ate it up. There's nothing about this book that I would change, and like I said, the twists were twisting, the romance was romancing, the yearning was there. There was some spice, but not too much spice, so I'd say like maybe 3-star spice, because there was some explicit scenes, but not too many explicit scenes, and it was so good. I absolutely loved it. So yeah, I finished up this book, and I'm so proud of myself. And yeah, I will do like a more full review of that later on. Actually, no, here, let me tell you a couple quotes because it was just so good, so good. So let me see. One quote. These are gonna be non-spoiler, completely out of context. Okay, so I've missed you more than I've missed the sun. Just the yearning, the yearning. But yeah, there's so many good twists. There was like one twist that I saw coming that was like a big twist, but like I feel like most people could see it coming. Other than that, there were so many good twists and so many things happened and so many like unlikable characters that you also like at the same time, and it was just so good. The book moves so fast. I feel like a couple times it was a little bit too fast, where like maybe they cut out a little bit more than they should have. Like I know it was a long book, but also like there was just like a couple scenes that I feel like I was slightly confused about and could have used a little bit more information. But other than that, I love the fast pace of it. Another quote. This one is, can you smell the salt-tinged air? Can you feel the heat of the sun? Are you living? Are you loving? Like to me, that's just kind of like a literally, are you living? Are you loving? Can you feel the sun on your skin? Can you smell the salt in the air? Are you appreciating life? And then finally, women have been each other's sword and shield since the beginning. When men turn against us, we turn to one another. And I just loved how like women empowerment that was. But yeah, We Who Will Die. This book is absolutely amazing, so good, loved it, recommend if you like fantasy. It is a Roman-inspired fantasy, and there are like magic, sigil marked individuals, there are mundanes, people without power, and there are vampires. So and there's so many different creatures in it. It's so good. I absolutely love. It is the beginning of a series, and I don't know when book 2 is going to come out. I'm going to look it up because I want to know. But this just came out, so it's probably going to be a while. But it's so good, so good. And then you guys saw I have 4 hours and 50 minutes left on my timer, so I have some things I need to do. But this evening, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to read as much as I can. Honestly, I would like to get it. Like, it's already late, so this is going to be pushing it, but I would like to get down to less than 2 hours, because maybe then I can tidy up tomorrow morning before this vlog goes live. Just do a little bit extra for the weekly readathon. Just a little extra if I can get it in. But yeah, we'll see if I can get reading tonight. But tonight I'm going to be starting Fake Skating by Lynn Painter. This is a young adult romance. It says, growing up, Danny couldn't help but follow around the dorky and adorable son of her mom's best friend. From playdates on the playground to sneaking into movie theaters, Danny and Alec were inseparable until Danny moved away. Flash forward years later, and Danny is back in Minnesota after her parents' devastating divorce. Dealing with the fallout of her parents' breakup, Danny attempts to rekindle her friendship with the cozy and comforting Alec she has missed, and who has been strangely MIA since Danny moved away. But teenage Alec is nothing like the kid Danny remembers. He is a hockey star in a town where hockey players are worshipped like gods. Instead of little Danny following him around, Alec now has a line of fans drooling all over him, and he loves it. But when one thing leads to another, and Danny and Alec find themselves thrown together to play the roles of boyfriend and girlfriend, complicated becomes an understatement. Their fake relationship forces the duo to face their true feelings toward each other, along with the real reasons why they have been absent from each other's lives for so long. So I think it's going to be really fun. I think it's going to be really giggly. I think it's going to be really light, so hopefully it'll be a fast read after the last one, because it was much more dense and took me longer. So this one should be really light and fluffy, and I love Lynn Painter young adult romance novels. I love them, so I think I'm going to be, eating this one up too, and I'm really excited. So a little bit later, we're going to continue our readathon, see how much we can get done today, to see if we get close to that 24-hour mark, because I really do not want to fail again. I failed last time, and I do not want to fail again. So we're going to try to get as much reading as we can later. To do that, we need to get our to-dos done. So let's get our to-dos done, and let's finish, and let's start fake skating. Good morning, my friends. Well, I haven't spoken today much. Okay. Good morning, my friends. It is bright and early Tuesday morning, if you can't tell by my voice, and that means technically our readathon is over. And I will be completely honest with you guys. I fell asleep last night while I was reading, so the readathon finished while I was snoozing. So I'm not exactly sure how many reading hours I got in. I just know around the 21, 22 hour mark. I was really tired. My eyes were starting to burn, and next thing I know, it's middle of the night. Readathon's over. So I think I got about 22-ish, maybe a little bit more actual reading hours in my 24-hour readathon, which I think is pretty good. I really do. I think that 22 hours reading in a single week is a lot of hours. I'm really proud of myself. I was reading Fake Skating when I fell asleep. Nothing against this book about the fact that I fell asleep, but I got to chapter 15. It's 114 pages in, and it is so cute. I love it already. Immediately, honestly, immediately, I loved it. Something about the way Lynn Painter writes is just, it's just perfect. So I'm absolutely loving it so far. So I plan on finishing up in the next few days, but yeah, the readathon is officially over. I got 2 complete books done. I got 7-Year Itch, and I got We Who Will Die, and then yeah, I had a bit of a mixed bag on how it went. Some days I did really well, some days I did not so well, so it was what it was. I feel like I tried my best, and that's all I can ask, right? For people who do a 24-hour readathon fully in a row or in a single weekend, props to you guys, because that is impressive, because I started burning out maybe it'd be better to do it in a weekend because you don't have time to burn out. You just get it done. I don't know. I'm definitely going to try it again sometime, and we'll see how it goes. But I think this one was pretty successful. I'm really proud of myself. I'd love to know if you guys have ever tried the 24-hour readathon down below, and let me know any pink book suggestions. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys are having a fabulous February. Live well, read lots of really good books, and go discover, my friends.